was gonna have these glasses on, but hey y'all, hello, what's up? It's me. It's me, Militant Unicorn, Asia. However y'all want to refer to me as. Owner, CEO, founder of Militant Universe. And we are here with a second quarter check-in. So I'm filming this on April the 6th, which is 2 days before April the 8th. If you're into astrology or into any of the cosmic happenings, then you would know that on the 8th, on Monday, good old Monday, we're going to be having a solar eclipse. Now, this check-in is not solely based on the solar eclipse. It's just a general update on the brand as it stands and just some general lessons that I want to impart on those who would like to listen about how I am leaning into these cosmic happenings and utilizing them to my benefit. So, this whole check in discussion powwow, I'm just gonna label it lessons in karmic cycles. But let me just start with some general updates. So, if you were paying any attention to any of my posts, no shade if you weren't, but if you were, then you would know that on the 31st of March, we were going to do a price increase for Reiki healing services. Okay, so the price has changed officially from the sliding scale that was 80 to 160. Now the sliding scale has went up to 188 to 222. Prices have been updated to reflect a little bit more on Fiverr.com, which is the independent freelancing marketplace where you can hire freelancers for various, whatever. It's not sponsored, but I'm on there as well. And the price is like, like $7 more to cover processing and fees on the Fiverr marketplace app. Okay. So, if the price increase seems a bit steep, you may still be in luck. I have partnered with an organization out in Seattle, Washington, by the name of Deconstructing Deconstructing the Mental Health System. DM, excuse me, DMHS is the acronym for Deconstructing Mental Health System, and it's owned by a Black woman named, or co-owned. I would say that the operation is mainly owned by a Black woman named McKinney. She has a free therapy program out there that you can apply for, and if you meet the requirements and the demographic, then you can be paired with a licensed professional of your choosing. It doesn't have to be Reiki. It could be, you can use this opportunity to get you some free talk therapy, look at what other options may be out there. It's not solely for BIPOC clients, but the database of therapists and wellness practitioners that are on the DMHS website are BIPOC practitioners. So if you're open to having a Black or brown wellness practitioner or therapist, then you're welcome to check in with DMHS to see if they're still taking in clients for their free therapy program. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit for y'all if you care, if you want to, cash in on some free therapy, on some free wellness. Okay. All right, so what else we got? We got merch is still on sale if you are interested, and I don't have it on. But if you are interested in any Militant Universe merch, we only have a shirt available for you to buy right now. It is on our Etsy shop, Etsy Etsy website. You can go there, Militant Universe, to purchase a Militant Universe t-shirt. So merch is still on sale, okay? I would say, I don't even know how I segue into the next part, but I guess I'll just segue into it. So, in this time that I have been taking a reprieve, getting my brand in order, operational things, invoices, and cleaning up stuff and marketing. Okay. In the midst of doing all of that, I decided to just also take time to reflect on how far I've actually come. Now, this reflection has come at a very pivotal point in the collective where we are in a transition period. We're in the lobbying area, okay, if you will. We are in a hoteling space into our next chapter is fully solidified and firmed up for us to step into it and take it over and go on about our lives as usual. Before we can get to that solid ground, this very uneasy, very murky, very foggy, volatile period that we all have found ourselves in is very auspicious, in my opinion. So, just some astrological backings or phenoms or phenomenons that has happened is we experienced, what was it, a lunar eclipse sometime at the end of March. And as we experienced that, we then moved into Mercury retrograde, right? That happened on the 1st. Now, between that eclipse, and eclipses are always here to bring up the shadows, right? In the spiritual sense, right? And an eclipse in regular, practical, human functioning every day, it's just an eclipse, right? If you're just a regular, everyday human walking up and down the street, you know, an eclipse is just an eclipse, right? But for light workers, mystics, those empaths, those who work with the cosmos in order to divine or do our work, or work with the divine in any capacity in order to carry out our role, the cosmos and what they do has a huge effect on how we show up, right? So, as the eclipse, the lunar eclipse, right, and the moon talks about our deep emotions and the more taboo things or the things that we think we're hiding from the rest of the world comes to the surface, right? And it gives you an opportunity to address it. With the Mercury retrograde, it gives you the not only the space to address it, but it's almost like it locks you in the room with those shadow aspects of yourself and forces you to have a sit down, talk, a meeting face to face with those darker aspects of your being that you've been avoiding, right? So, what I found as I was coming into or going with the flow, right? Sucked into. It wasn't We don't have any control over what's going on energetically out there. However Mother Gaia feels, Mother Earth, the planet feels, however she wants to show up, however the solar system wants to, you know, chuck and jive that's on them. And we just have to do our best to saddle up and hold on for dear life. Okay. So as I'm being sucked in through these and going with the flow with all these different happenings, one term that has come up for me and some of my clients has been karmic cycles. A lot of people like to think about karmic cycles as if it's some negative happenings like, nefarious beings coming to knock you off your path and create all these unnecessary obstacles. And although many of the things that I mentioned happens to happen when you're in karmic cycles or karmic relationships, that's not the case and that's not the reason for karmic cycles. The reason for karmic cycles is well, first, you need to remember what you asked God for. Remember what you asked God for. Remember what you asked the universe for. Whoever you subscribe, whatever higher power that you subscribe to, remember what you've been begging for. In order for you to fully embody or take on the role or even be responsible over the things that you've asked for, Spirit, the universe, the cosmos, God, who, again, higher power, is going to put you through a series of tests to see if you are actually ready to take on or to take ownership of the very things that you've been asking for. Okay? So you will, if you found yourself in the past few years in like these very cyclical situations where you're like different person but same energy, or different place but same energy, you need to really kind of drill down or narrow down what you think the similarities are, and what those similarities, what those through line themes are trying to teach you. What's the lesson? What's the gift, right? So for example, as I was being sucked into this cosmic whirlpool of goodness, and of introspection, I met up with a light worker friend at a municipal market down in Sweet Auburn, Atlanta. And as we, as most light workers who meet up, we tend to, magical things happen when we're out. We can't really help or predict what the day is going to bring. We just agree to meet, agree to connect, and then allow the universe to do as it does. Okay. We show up to the market, and, things are off typically, right? But at this point in my life, even when I feel that energy is off and energy is stagnant, or if there's any abrasive or disagreeable energies or entities around me, I'm always coming in looking for the lesson, right? Because it's going to be there. You can't control how other people show up. You can't control the energies outside. The only thing that you can control is how you respond to said energies and said situations, right? So we were having, talking about what it's like to be Reiki practitioners, our work, our journey, our life lessons thus far, and what we're most excited for moving into the future, right? Into this new timeline. And as we're having these very elevated and high vibrational conversation, there's this woman who works there with, and she's just slamming around tables and chairs all around us. She even went to the point where the place where we went to go sit down, is kind of like this, it's like a little eating corner with tables and chairs. Anybody who buys anything from the market, you could usually sit there, eat your food, have a chit chat, whatever. She ropes us in, which I thought was very like, whatever. I'll keep the serendipities to myself, but she like has a little velvet rope, ropes us in, and then begins to like, rearrange furniture. I'll just put it that way. She was rearranging furniture, right? And then we're looking at her because she clearly sees that we're having a conversation. And as we're looking at her, like, well, then what's all the ruckus for? You just said it's okay for us to sit here and have a conversation, right? What makes you think that we can even focus on this conversation when you're slamming tables and chairs around? Like, how are we supposed to conduct this conversation, right? So this went on for probably like 5 or 10 minutes until, I looked at the other light worker that I was with, and I was like, all right, let's move, right? Because clearly I don't know what this lady had going on, not to mention that the she wasn't even this is what I'll say. I'm gonna go because I was gonna keep it cute in terms of like not describing this woman's ethnicity or whatever, but this was a brown woman, a brown Latina woman, okay? And I get so disheartened when I see brown and black women do this to any of their kind, right? You will never be white. I'm not of the world, but I'm in it. Okay, racism still, colorism, classism, all those things still play a very big part in the society that we live in, and especially plays a part in light work. If because you'll go pay a white woman $500 for Reiki or a reading or a medium to tell you about your dead grandma that passed over. But me, I'm a witch. Me, I do black magic. Me, I drink chicken's blood. Me, you know what I mean? My work and the light that I give is demonic, right? Okay, so I just want to make that connection there for you, and then I'm going to continue with this Latina woman. So the whole time that she was moving these tables and chairs around, acting like she didn't see me, right? She never acknowledged me. She was acknowledging who I was with, which was a white woman who was a Reiki practitioner as well. And I told her, I was like, it's very funny how she keeps looking at you and just blatantly ignoring that I'm also here being inconvenienced by this whole situation as well. And you know what also is the kicker is that the white woman who I was there with asked me to come there to talk about my work. So it's just crazy that this Hispanic woman thought that she was trying to sun me or disregard me or act like I was insignificant in comparison to this woman that she was like catering to. Telling her that it's okay. No, you can have your meeting. You can talk to her. Everything's okay. And I had to look at her. I was like, we cannot hear each other with you making all of this noise. And I think at that point she kind of got the message like, oh, yeah, babes, I don't know why you would assume that I'm with her. Real talk. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's very, y'all Southern folk, y'all need to grow up. I don't know. It's 2024, and it's just like for y'all to still think that black people can only be validated by their white counterparts is the dumbest shit I've ever experienced in my fucking life. I don't need anybody to validate me. When I step outside on my own 10 toes. I don't need nobody to sponsor me, validate me, speak for me. I speak for my fucking self. So when I open my mouth and you decide to ignore me, that's more a reflection on your character and not on mine. Okay? Because I say what I say with my chest. I don't mix my words, and I have authority when I step into these places. Y'all can act like y'all don't see me. That's the part that pisses me off. Because that woman knew who I was when I stepped into that market. And she did her best, even after we moved and, you know what I mean, we set up in the little corner off to the side. Sis still want to walk by and try to eye me up and down to try to figure out who am I for this white woman to, not one, vouch for me, once I said it's time to move, she was like, all right, cool. Two, to then allow me to lead the way, right? Because you got to understand microaggressions work in both ways. Just as someone can be microaggressive to you, try to blatantly ignore you, try to act like you're not there, all the things, you can do the same to them. So that's what I did to sis. And with all of that, the reflection that I'm getting in this season is that y'all can act like y'all don't see me, but I know y'all feel me. Stop it. Stop it. And I've had to leave a lot of karmic cycles in the past because people played on my head top and my emotions like I was just some oblivious, naive, green individual who knew nothing about nothing, knew nothing about emotions, knew nothing about energy, knew nothing about people's true intent. And the kicker is, I've been saw y'all. And what happened in these previous cycles is I continue to let people get away with shit that I saw them blatantly do. And I didn't call them out for their fuckery and tomfoolery. I just allowed them to continue on because unconditional love means that regardless of how you show up, I still love you. We're all on this journey together. We're all trying to be our best selves every day. We're all doing our best in this very moment not to knock a bitch out. We doing our best, okay? So as long as I see that you trying, I'm not gonna hold the little petty shit against you. I'm not gonna hold your insecurities against you. I'm not gonna hold your lack of confidence against you. I'm not even gonna hold your inability to see yourself like I see you against you. Because there's so many insecure individuals that I surrounded myself with in the past that really kept me from pursuing my dreams and really stepping into my highest timeline and my highest version of myself, because I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to trigger anyone because I understood that folks were still working through their things. Okay. Now, people took that and ran with it. They was like, okay, well, you know, she sees me doing all this bullshit, but she's not saying anything. So I guess I can keep doing it. No, no. You can't keep playing on my head top. You can't keep wasting my time. You can't continue to stifle my greatness. You can't continue to gaslight me out of my big one. I'm going to do my big one. If y'all want to, be basic and mediocre over there, then do that. But remember, I rooted for you. I believe that we could all cross the finish line together. I believe that we could all walk and step into this higher timeline together. But you didn't believe that. So that's on you. That's on you. So you take that cycle, since you ain't learned your lesson, and then you can relearn it, and you can, hopefully the next go around, you'll get it. You'll get it. And then you can step into your highest timeline as well. But the whole trauma bonding era and us being basic together and mediocre together and doing the bare minimum bullshit together, we're not doing that, okay? We all got the same 24 hours in a day. We all, got access to the same, higher power. We all are given gifts from the most high to carry out. We're all given a mission. We all have a soul contract. And I am not going to delay my soul's mission to appease anybody else's ego. I'm not going to dim my light to make anybody else feel better. I'm not even going to waste my time to be an ear or a shoulder for people who couldn't even stomach seeing me win. And that's another thing. All y'all silent ass haters, I feel very sorry for y'all, because you're just miserable. You're just miserable. And I was just around so many people who just got a kick and joy out of trying to suck the joy out of me. They love to poke fun, and I was the butt of everybody's joke. Everybody was kikiing at me. Thought I was some crazy, cuckoo girl. Then why did you keep me around? Why was you always on my energy? Why, when you was bored, you always on my line? Why am I listening to you complain about your life for 2 hours then? If I'm so insignificant, if I'm so weird, if I'm so quirky, if I'm so odd, if I'm so crazy, then why do you keep my name in your mouth? That's odd. So I just made it easy for you, because I'm not finna be nobody's laughing stock of nothing. I'm not finna be nobody's punching bag for any duration of time. You don't fucking like me, you're blocked. You doing your best to tolerate me, you're blocked. No one's forcing you to stick around and see what I got going on. No, I don't care if you rocking with what I got going on or not. I'm not here to please you or appease you. I got a life to live on my own. I got things I gotta do. So if you don't like it, tough titty, just move the fuck out the way. Nobody asks for your opinion. So that's the karmic cycles that I've come out of. I do not give a fuck about anybody's opinion. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. Feel how you feel. Just stay out the way. That's it. You don't like me. You think I'm crazy. You think I'm weird. You think I'm all the things. That's fine. Okay? Just stay out. And to all y'all lurking motherfuckers, I know there's still some motherfuckers out here that's, on my page, trying to see what's up, want to get the tea, want to see, how long it's going to last. I didn't already clock y'all tea. Now, mind you, if you're seeing this, all your little friends around you are blocked. So be mindful of what you do with this information next, okay? Or you will also get blocked. And honestly, block your fucking self. If there's people that's still on my page that don't want to be there and you feel a certain way about me, block yourself. Why haven't y'all done that yet? I'm trying to figure out why you still here. Cause it's only gonna get realer from here. It's only gonna get more real from here. You know, I've been keeping it cute and cordial with y'all Negroes for a while. But don't keep playing in my energy like like I'm dumb. I've just been sparing y'all. I cut niggas off because I just didn't feel like even engaging or trying to keep explaining myself and explaining where y'all had me fucked up at. I'm not gonna keep explaining myself to nobody because you know who I am. That's the thing. You just was gonna see how much you could get away with without me saying anything. Please don't let this smooth face fool you. I know it looks like I was born yesterday, but I wasn't. Play with somebody else. Play with somebody else. And you're gonna have to because everything I said I was gonna do, I'm doing it. And I did it. And that's probably what's making you really sick. Because you thought it was gonna be clipped by now. I'm sure of it. I'm sure a lot of y'all thought this was gonna be clipped by now. I'm sure I'm I could put money on it. I'm pretty sure it's folks out there that was like, oh, how this is cute what she got going on. How long is this gonna last? For as long as I say it's gonna last, that's how long it's gonna last, babes. Okay. So, I mean, with that being said, that's my check-in, guys. I hope, I hope whatever reflection you receive during this time serves you well. Okay. Get your reflection in before that solar eclipse on the 8th. Because if not, your ass will be stuck in the current timeline that you are in. Take the advice or leave it, but it's on you, babes. If you cannot see or sense that there is a major shift happening around you, then you just deaf and dumb and numb at this point and apathetic. I don't know what else to tell you. It's thick in the air. Stop acting like everything is just hocus pocus spooky ooky devil demon. Oh. Get into it, babes. Tap into the energy around you. Okay? Stop being oblivious. Start doing the inner work. You're looking pathetic. I'm gonna leave it there. Y'all piss me off for real.